ESPN's top 25 based on the FPI just dropped, and as you can imagine, social media is up in flames. We're going to break it down, going to tell you what the FPI actually means. Spoiler alert, it's not all that you think it means. We'll unpack that right now. Before we do that, though, college football sickos, make sure you are subscribed. College football season right around the corner. Praise the Lord. So we don't have to talk about the FPI and all of that here in the not-too-distant future, but make sure you are locked in here. If you live and die by this sport year-round, we appreciate you being locked in. And get at me on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, at PicKell. Let me know what you think about this thing, man, because the FPI drops, and it always drops this time of year, and we always get a little bit of a reaction from the college football public, and we appreciate that. College football is built on passion, if nothing else. But let me tell you what the FPI actually means. Per ESPN, this is how they define the FPI. FPI, standing for Football Power Index, so nice little acronym usage there from the folks over at ESPN. FPI is a measure of team strength. It's meant to be the best predictor of a team's performance going forward for the rest of the season. FPI presents how many points above or below a team is. Projected equals are based on 20,000 simulations of the rest of the season using FPI. Results today, running schedule. Essentially, it's supposed to tell you how powerful a team is based on what the FPI just says. Football Power Index. All right, so this is not saying, well, hey, this team projects to be this good based on upside and intangibles. It's a computer. It's a robot. So what I would say when you look at the FPI, it's information. Don't take it so literally as a ranking, because we see top 25, and your brain immediately goes to top 25 ranking. This is how good a team is relative to other teams. And it's sort of supposed to be that, but not necessarily. Again, this is all a predictive, future-facing kind of rating system. So let's take a quick look at this FPI so we can all be upset about it together. Yes, you got a couple things jumping off the paper here for you. You see Texas at 1, cool, no real issues there. Georgia at 2, okay, you could make sense of that. Ohio State at 4, yeah, returning production, not all that the FPI apparently wants to see. You got Arizona State at 24, which I think is egregious. Arkansas at 22, just hanging out. How'd they get here? Not 100% sure. Again, if you're looking at this as a literal, oh, this team is better than that team, then it's going to be confusing. But what this FPI is not saying is that Arkansas is the 22nd best team in America. What they are saying is that they are positioned to be better than those teams that are ranked behind them based on what they have. So what it's taking into account is returning production, recruiting strength, coaches' tenure and their stability, strength of schedule, past and future, and that FPI spits out a likelihood. Again, not a ranking. So to give you some context here, at the end of last season, when the confetti dropped in Atlanta, Ohio State beats Notre Dame for the national championship. Okay, the AP comes out, the college football rankings are all out there, and we got Ohio State 1, Notre Dame 2, because that was how the season finished. Alabama, after losing to Michigan, was ranked 4th in the final FPI. Again, it's a robot. Does that mean that Alabama had a season that was worthy of putting them at the 4th best spot in everyone's final rankings? No, but what the FPI is saying is if you were to have these teams play on a neutral field tomorrow, Alabama would be favored against all but 3 other teams. Should be noted, Notre Dame finished 3rd, Texas finished 2nd, Ohio State finished 1st. So think of it more when it comes to like gambling lines as opposed to actual, this team based on merit is better than that team. So when we look at the top 25, though, there's a couple of things that I do appreciate about, how this whole top 25 shook out. Again, not something to take as gospel or as definitive fact, but I do think based on the metrics, a couple of teams that jump out, Alabama at 3, which is a good bit higher than I think most rankings would have them. Alabama, what this ranking tells me is they still have a really freaking good roster. No, Saban's not there. No, they didn't have great quarterback play last year. But remember, this factors in returning production. It factors in recruiting strength. There's still a lot of really good players in Tuscaloosa. So that jumped out to me. Now, at number 8, look at A&M there. And this got a reaction even from the folks on Texas A&M Twitter. Like, hey, don't put us in the top 10. We put y'all in the top 10. You're the top 10. They're like, hey, don't do that. We haven't earned on the field just yet. We don't want to have that kind of hype around us. The FPI doesn't care about logos. The FPI says, Mike Elko's a good coach. That's a good roster with a lot of talented players. We're putting you on the top 10. Sorry about it. Now, again, the thing that I appreciate about where we are right now in college football, there's a lot of flaws, right? We're going to figure out what the future of the college football playoff is. Not a fan of conference realignment. The portal's got to get figured out. But one thing I do appreciate is we no longer Look at this. We are no longer having a robot tell us who the best teams are in college football. I appreciate the BCS era for what it was, but that was a major flaw. Robots should not tell us how good a team is. The field should tell us how good a team is. And so now when we have a committee actually telling us how good teams are, there is that human element of, hey, you know what? We saw what we saw. We understand what the final score is, but we all watched the game with our own two eyes, and here's how we feel about it. We have 136 teams in FBS. We should have a human element involved here. And so I appreciate the FPI, but it doesn't account for intangibles. It doesn't account for upside. That was a big thing that jumped out when you see Arizona State at 24. Arizona State, we all understand, they're not the 24th best team in college football. FPI isn't accounting for the development of a Sam Levitt, the culture Kenny Dillingham's built, how much they've gelled from one offseason to the next, and what they could be in another year under Kenny Dillingham, another year under Sam Levitt. Florida at 18. Regardless of how you feel about Florida's roster talent, I don't think you're able to account for the DJ Lagway jump he could take next year. Lenore Sellers in South Carolina at 15. How good could he be next year? They're not accounting for all that. So to close this whole thing out, man, my biggest takeaway after looking at the top 25 and reading the mentions and the comments on Twitter, just we need football back. We can discuss it as much as we want. We appreciate this part of the year because we get the sickos dialed in, and it really starts to draw a line in the sand as to who lives and breathes this sport and then who's only around when there's actual games being played. So I appreciate sicko season, but we need football to actually be back being played on the field, and that's what this always tells me whenever this comes out this time of year. So good for discussion, good for conversation, intriguing when it comes to communicating roster talent and things of that nature. But if you're letting this make you feel worse about your football team right now, that's on you. It's a robot. Robots do robot things. Take it all as a black and white kind of situation, and we all understand college football is anything but black and white. For Kane Smith on the ones and twos, for myself, JD PicKell, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We will keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time.